I want you to start studying the humble beginnings as far as successful YouTubers are concerned, in the form of the old timers as well as modernized. And I say modernized the last 5 years of successful YouTubers, because the key thing is by looking at those humble beginnings, you can kind of study in regards to what they did. And again, you will notice one key thing, folks. It is a slow process, as we all know. But if you look at things that were done, back in 2008, where YouTube was really kind of not, a household name as much, you'll notice that it's very, very, very raw. If you watch, though, humble beginnings of successful YouTubers in the last 5 years, they're not as raw. They're using a little bit more techniques in regards to their equipment, in regards to their editing style, which quite honestly has become a little bit more simple, which I highly agree upon. And it is a different approach. But if you take a little bit of the modern and if you take a little bit of the past and you kind of study what they did along the way by looking at the video, by looking at the description, and kind of getting a whole feel about it, then you'll take that and you'll mold it into your own version. But I want you to look at, I would say at minimum, 10 different successful YouTubers. And then what you'll notice is one thing. If you notice that two or three of them are talking about the same thing, then I want you to take out of those three, who is the most attractive, and get rid of the other two. The key thing is I want you to diversify 10 different individuals in 10 different types of niches, because that way it'll give you a complete overview of how they approach YouTube in their own way. So one could be a business thing, one could be health, one could be travel, one could be scavenger hunts, whatever the case might be. And then you will learn how they diversify. I want you to look at their view count. I want you to look at all different types of aspects and then mold it into your own. Now, if you have a YouTube channel, I hope you're staying consistent with it. If you're not, there's never an old time or a new time. You can always start right now. But I want you to study. I want you to do homework. That's kind of one thing that I always talk about in general when people want to start a hobby or a side gig. But the key thing is by studying it and really kind of creating your own, you kind of will understand what your niche is in some cases and how to really get that message out. The key thing I want you to do is that once you do that, YouTube is by far one of the strongest marketing weapons in your arsenal. I know it's second to Google. Quite honestly, folks, I think that will eventually flip. That's just my personal opinion down the road. And the reason for that, and I know that AI is in part of Google's ecosystem, of course, what isn't? But the key thing is that when people type in on a search, they kind of want to get a visual, if not a visual audio, if not a 1, 2, 3 step type of thing, really by viewing something and listening to it. Because now YouTube obviously is not only on your phones or your tablets or your laptops. Now it is, being part of your television experience as well. So a lot of people like myself have a little bit more comfort watching YouTube shows of my favorite YouTubers on the television. It's now becoming TV, quite honestly. So by gathering all that information and studying, and I want you to go a little bit further as far as beyond YouTube in regards to these YouTubers. I want you to see their website. I want you to see how they're advertising on their website. I want you to see what their techniques are and their strategies are, and then implement that as well. So whatever your product is, whatever your service is, if you're in the gaming business or, any side hustle or, current business that you've been in, or you're starting a new, you have to utilize that and study it and implement that. But do not let it go. A lot of people get discouraged right off the go and they say, well, I don't get no views and I don't have this and I'm going to give up. Listen, guys. As my old professor used to say, there is no free lunch, and it takes time. Look, I've been doing a business now for the past 25 years. My business didn't kick off until a few years down the road. A lot of people would have dumped it within the first year. I've always said that. But if you stay consistent and you study and you self-educate and you constantly learn, because there's a lot to learn, and trust me, there are thousands of tools out there. That was not part of the case back when I started it in 1999. So look, all the benefits are there for you. So hopefully that helps. If you like to comment, as always, as they say in good old YouTube world, subscribe, please, like, and share if you want. But if you want to learn more about tips, tricks, as far as scavenger hunt games, if you're thinking about creating your own game and how to market it correctly and how to create it and use those techniques, amongst other things, as far as our locations and all that, definitely go on to our subscribe to our site. Or if you want to learn more about our scavenger hunts, we've been doing games now for the past 25 years. Go to cashunt.com, cashunt.com. And other than that, keep on going. And as I always say, let's play.